And John, are you recording the call?
It is recording.
Are you recording?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, fine. Um, Hope my screen visible, right?
yes, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, welcome you all, everyone again, right? So, I'm just giving us introduction to myself first, then we will jump into the session directly. So I'm Ganesh. I've been into the Salesforce industry, with the Salesforce and with the Pardot for last 8 years, and right now I'm working as a lead Pardot consultant at Temenos. And I've been writing in articles, and I've been writing a blog post in LinkedIn about Pardot, about marketing operations. So please follow me um, for the information, maybe the trends and what's happening in Pardot and what's the development is coming up and all of that. Yeah, as John said, I'm the Pardot Marketer Group Chennai leader, and I'm 6X certified, like having an, uh, one AP credential and 5 Salesforce certifications. Yes. Okay. And today we are going to start the introduction to account engagement, and we are going to see the key features and how the Pardot syncs with you know uh, Salesforce. Okay, then we will going to see the real demo as well. So this is the today's agenda, and let's get started. Right. So why we need Pardot and why we need Salesforce, right? So anyway, the Salesforce is the market leader today. Salesforce has more than 80 percentage, almost, yeah, more than 80 percentage share in the market share in the CRM industry. Even Microsoft exists, like Dynamic CRM, Salesforce, and other few CRMs also available in the market. But Salesforce holds the industry. And when it comes to other marketing umbrella, there are two options for the everyone to adopt to. One is Marketing Cloud, another one is Pardot. Right now, they have changed the name of the Pardot into Marketing Cloud Account Engagement, but they have two options. Uh, Usually, Pardot is used for B2B industry, and the Marketing Cloud is used for B2C industry. So this is how the segment has been. When it comes to B2B, the people from the companies from banking industry, companies from pharma industry, right? Companies from even from the retail industry are using Pardot. I've been worked with all of them in my previous careers and implementing Pardot to them. Yes, so different strategies, different methodologies we need to convey to them to bring the Pardot and Salesforce in a sync, right? So okay. Anyway, so why we need Pardot? Pardot is the best in class, right? When it comes to the integration with the Salesforce, okay, we can't use the Pardot as an individual tool as we are using Marketo or other automations, marketing automations, but when it comes to Pardot, it is not a standalone tool. It has to be used with the Salesforce CRM, and the sync between the both is the best in class. Okay, that will give you that will give a edge over all other marketing automations tool available in the market. Okay, we will, like, when we are using Pardot, we can have the standardized lead qualification, which is based on the scoring and grading, and we can track the website activities of the prospects, and we can assign the lead. We can, more importantly, we can convey the information, right? So whatever the insight that we got, let's say for example for a prospect, we have got the information about the prospect of, like, prospect is visiting a website. Okay, not just a website, it's a product page. That is a very important page. We can pass that information to the sales team directly in a real time. So which enables, right, which enables the sales team to act quickly and go and get go and talk to people, and if they are interested to that particular product, we can easily crack them. That will create the initial impression on the background research that we are going to do as a sales team. So so at that at the end, what I'm trying to convey is, uh, we are giving the marketing insights to the sales team, so that sales team will be aware of all the insights about the prospect before going talking to them, before approaching the clients, right? They'll know the history, they'll know the background, like which product they are interested in, where I've got this particular prospect, what is the history of a prospect, what are the pages they have visited in the past 3 months or 6 months, whether we have done a deal with them already. No. Yes. Yeah. Everything, can be viewed in the marketing insights before talking to the uh, client, right? So this is why we need a Pardot along with Salesforce for the B2B industry, right? And what are all the key features of it, right? The one is integration that I've already talked about, integration between Salesforce and Pardot. Another one is automation. So whatever you want to automate, it's a simple point and click, no coding needed, no JavaScript, right? So it's a point and click. You can easily define the criteria, and you can just put your actions. So it's easy but very effective, right? And you will have the scoring leads based on the engagement. Let's say if you want to score the prospect, if when form submission happens, right, in the website, we may score them a 50 or an 100. And when website visit happens, we may score one or two. Otherwise, when email clicks happen, we may score them, like on every touch points, on every campaigns that we are running, right? We are scoring them. So at the end of the day, you will get to know the score is proportional to the engagement. The higher the score, higher the likelihood of converting the prospect. So sales team will have the clear approach. Just by seeing the score, they'll get to know which lead I need to, the pitching, which lead I need to talk first, which need I need to prioritize, right? So this is the power of the scoring. And obviously, so marketing is almost linked with the segmentation, right? So we need to segment the audience, target the audience, define the target audience. Everything will be done by the list, and there are two types of list, and static and dynamic. Yes. So like when we are going in depth, we will go to the all the levels, right? So on forms and landing pages, and we have the email builder, the new one, which is a drag and drop. So you don't need to have a knowledge of HTML and CSS. You just need to drag and drop, and your email template will be ready, right? So that's the new feature that's being, released 3 4 the quarters back. And we have the nurture programs like a drip campaign, like, and the reporting capability. So all these are the key features of account engagement. And right, right. So what is the benefit, right? So we talked about much, like I've already talked about all of this. So just to conclude, right, for the sales users, so you can view the engagement history, which is nothing but the activities of the prospect, right? Activities of the leads and contacts, and you can sort them by the score, so that you can prioritize and talk to people. And you can send the email from CRM itself, right? You don't need to come to Pardot to send the individual emails. You can send it from Pardot, sorry, from Salesforce. It's possible. And for the marketers, the biggest advantage is the sync between the CRM and Pardot. And whenever I'm generating some audience for particular campaign, I can just define the criteria and pull it, and I can automate it, right? So that's the power we have for marketers. And for admins, yes, whatever the field you will be creating in lead and contact opportunities accounts, I can access the value. I can pass the value from Pardot to Salesforce as well. It is a bidirectional sync. So whatever the changes you are doing in the lead and contact, that will be reflecting in Pardot as well. Similarly, when I do some changes in Pardot, it is going to reflect in lead and contact object, right? As far the sync is concerned, lead and contact is the bidirectional sync, and opportunity and account is a single direction, which means Pardot can only able to read the field values of opportunities and accounts. Pardot can't able to write anything to both of the object, right? And we will be having a single sign-on. It's just a connected app. You just need to log in into the CRM, Salesforce CRM, as you do, and go to the app launcher, and you will go to the uh, a Pardot as well, right? Yeah. Before going into the in-depth logic of how the Pardot syncs, okay, I could like to go with a demo first. Then we will come back here, right? Just give me a moment. I'm switching my screen from the presentation to the demo arc. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now you can see my the account engagement screen, right? So if you want to access the Pardot screen, sorry, Pardot application, what you need to do is you just log in, then just go to account, just type in account, then there will be an account engagement. Just click on it, then you will be reaching here. Okay, this is the lightning version of Pardot, and there is another version available, classic, and that is also being available even now. Right now you can also work with that, but all the features, all the developments coming to the lightning, so it is better to adopt into the lightning, right? And there is no development happening in the classic, and whatever the development happening right now, and whatever the release features that we are getting for the previous weeks and for the upcoming weeks in futures, no, we are going to get it in lightning only. Okay. And okay, so this is how it looks. And if you this is a prospect tab. Okay, we call lead and contact as a prospect in Pardot. Okay, we are calling them as a prospect, but when it goes to a CRM as a sync, we are calling them as a lead and contact. Okay, let's say for example I'm a prospect. I'm in Pardot. If user has been assigned to my profile, okay, if the owner has been assigned, the prospect owner has been assigned to my record, then I'll be created as a lead. Okay, then the lead and the prospect is in sync. Later point in time, when the sales guy converts that lead into a contact account and opportunity, at that time the prospect will divert its sync from a lead to a contact record. Okay, this is how the sync works. So if you want to see, Jay, let me go to my um, my record here, right? So I'll show you. So how does that sync happens? So if I come down here, I can see this is a lead ID. This particular 18-digit CRM ID, right? This is the lead ID, and this particular record is syncing with the record type of lead. Let's say if you click on this cloud icon, right, at the right of my name, it will directly take you to the corresponding lead record of the prospect. Let's say this is a good lead. I can convert this lead now. I'm thinking of converting this. So right here you can see the engagement history similarly, right? So that is what I've talked about. We can give them an insight, right? This guy Ganesh Babu, right, he viewed a form on this particular day, right? And you can just scroll it and you will know what are all the activities the particular prospect has been done with the marketing assets, right? So that you will know. So I could like to convert this lead. So what I'm going to do is I'm marking them as a converted. I'm converting an account, contact, and an opportunity. Then just I'm clicking on convert. Okay, previously what happened, the okay previously what happened, this particular prospect is being synced with a lead. If I refresh the screen now, what it does is it will switch the sync from lead to a contact. So it will take some time for the sync, but it will switch the sync from lead to a contact. So if you make any changes here, right, if you make any changes in the contact record, that will also get synced. So that is how the prospect is able to make a sync between Pardot and the Salesforce. Okay, this is how the sync is happening. And to make the sync work, what are the criteria we need to follow? One criteria is that the prospect record must have assigned user. If there is no assigned user for the prospect record, then this particular prospect won't get sync with Salesforce. Okay, since it is taking time, I'm going to sync with CRM manually, right? If I scroll down, you can see now the lead ID is gone and now it is connected to the contact ID. It's an actual the same data, and in the back end we will be mapping a lead field to a contact field. So whatever the data we have in a lead, that is being transferred to a contact right now, that and tagged to an account, and we are now in sync with an contact basically. Okay, that is how the sync works. Okay, and this is all about the prospect, and here you can see the mailability, whether this particular email id is mailable or not, and whether they have opted out and odd bounced. You can get to know all of it, and you can also know about the scores, right? I had the score, I had the engagement. Since it is a demo org, I've used it for the multiple purposes, so the score is so high. In a real log, if you see the, the score, it is proportionate. Okay, uh, for all the people we are considering the same. So I had the score, I had the engagement anyway, right? So assigned user, I told you, without an assigned user, the record won't get synced with CRM. So we have to assign the user. This is all these additional fields, right? All the standard fields, and here we can create the custom fields and make a sync with the CRM, right? And this is with respect to prospects. And if I go to um, okay, if I go to segmentation like automations, um, if I want to segment people, right? As I told you, there are two types of lists. Okay, one is static, which is uh, which which is just a list. Okay, we'll just input a name and we create a list. At end of the day, we can add people into the list, we can delete people from the list. Everything is possible. Okay, but when we go with a dynamic list, it's a criteria and the rule based list. So you can't add people manually, you can't delete people manually. Instead, if that particular criteria matches, then it will pull all the prospect record with the criteria matches. Okay, so let's create one dynamic list. Yeah, let's create one dynamic list. Just for an example, just click on this checkbox and set rules. Okay, it's already available, I think. Okay, marketer. Okay, this is how the screen appears right here. You can add a new rule, and all these are the criteria available for you. This is the category available for you to make the criteria, right? So if I want to, let's say for example, um, from the default field, I want to find out uh, who are all opted out, which means I want to suppress the people. I don't want these people to receive an email because it's a GDPR issue, right? So I want to suppress the people, so I want to know overall opted out from the email communications. Okay, if I want to run this, then I'll get all the opted out list. Okay, if we want something else, we can do that as well. Like if this the custom field, in the custom field, uh, if the lead score contains LinkedIn, I just only want the people, where uh, lead source equals LinkedIn. Okay, we can get that. If I run the role, I'll I'll get all the data where this particular criteria matches. This is how the static and dynamic list works. Okay, and if I'm just leaving this, I'm not saving this. Okay, and um moving on, right? This is an automation role, right? So just for pulling the data, we are using the dynamic list, right, or a static list, right? When we have to do some action based on the criteria, do some actions based on the criteria, then we will go with an automation role, right? So here also something similar, right? So let's say let's go the same, right? The custom field, lead source contains LinkedIn. Okay, what dynamic list does, it just pulls the record where the lead source is LinkedIn. But in the automation role, what you can do is, if the custom field is LinkedIn, lead source is LinkedIn, then do this, right? You can add to a campaign. Okay, you can add this to a marketing campaign with the campaign number status of, I don't know, just this is connected, right? So this is one the actions you can do. You have so many actions. You can notify the user as well. If you, okay, the Ganesh Babu is the one who was responsible for the LinkedIn, then you can notify him stating that I've got one lead matching with the lead source LinkedIn. Please have a look. Yes, then the guy will be notified immediately for their action, so that it will improve the conversion and revenue contributions. So that is the story. The when it just a rules, then it's a dynamic list. When it is a rule and action, then it comes to an automation role, right? And engagement studio program is just a nurture program. We will cover this in a separate topic altogether. If you have time today, we'll try to see the introduction of it, right? And if I go to the content tab, I will have a form handler, landing page, layout template, and all other sub tabs. The form is nothing but a website form. Okay, whatever you are seeing in the website, right? That is a Pardot form basically. Like let's go to the Temenos, right? So this is the company that I'm working for. Just for an example, right? If I go here, if you see, this is first name, last name, and company, and this is the Pardot form basically. This is the iframe that I've given to them, and it is pasted in the website. Then you know all these features like a recaptcha and everything is being hosted by the Pardot, right? I'll tell you like how to do that. Like not a big deal, but just we can website contact us, right? And I'm going to select one campaign here and click on next. And here by default you will get first name, last name, company, and email. If you don't want to include company, you can remove it, no worries, right? So if you want to have, you can have, like it's your wish, like as per your company's requirement. Like if you want to add a new field to the form, then how to add it? Like what I need is, I need the country. Okay, I need country. uh, it's just a text. Okay, the data format you need to select as a text, and whether it is required or not required, you can select it in the basic. And the advanced, if the field is not filled while submitting a form, this error message will pop up. And similarly, you have a three options here. Always display even if previously completed, which means when you submit a form, even after submitting a form, you will get this particular field displayed. Okay, basically, Pardot form won't be displayed, won't be displaying all other fields than the email. Okay, when you submit a form, when you come next time and see that particular form, you'll only get the email field. You won't get all other fields. Okay, so if you want to display it, then you are giving this option. If you don't want to pre-fill it, you have to select this. Okay, this is also if you want to maintain the initial value, even if you are getting the next time, if you are submitting some other values, but if you want to somehow maintain the first value, initial value, then you can click on this. Okay, it's all depend on the case by case use case, right? And in the values you will see what all the countries you are going to get. If you want to modify, you can do that. And and there is a dependent field, right? If you want to, okay, let's say for example, okay, I'll come back to this again. Like I'm making a changes, and in the country, after that, after the, you know country, I just want a state field also to be visible. In the type, it's a text, it's required. And 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 I'm going to save the state. I'm going to edit the country again. I'm going to the dependent list, and here, only when the country India has been selected, I want to show the state field. Otherwise, I don't want to show the state at all. So this particular state is dependent on the country field. Something similar, the concept of the Salesforce administrator, how we do. But this is the form, the structure that we have in Pardot, right? So I'm clicking on next. Here you can define the look and feel of the Pardot form. If you want to, showcase something on the top of it, on the above form, something similar to inquiry, some demonstration on something else, like you can do that here. You can do some stylings here, the font size, family, and all of it. And here you can enable the reCAPTCHA. This is the reCAPTCHA, the bot protective protection, right? You can enable this. You can also enable the not you link, right? And then you will have, okay, I need to choose the layout template, right? And here you will have the completion action, most important part here, right? Let's say for example, I'm submitting a form, right? So upon submitting a form, what I need to do, right? I have to add them to a campaign, right? The form is basically part of a campaign most of the time, right? So then I'm going to add this guy to a campaign with the campaign member status responded, whatever the campaign. Okay, I'm just selecting this for an example here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the score, which means if the form has been submitted, I'm increasing the score of the prospect by 50. So end of the day, I'm going to follow this particular 50 throughout all the forms. So at the end of the day, I'll get to know either score, either engagement likely to convert, right? And similar way, whatever the response you want to select, whatever the actions you want to do, you can do. And if you want to do some conditional action, uh, let's say for example, right? um, uh, like CRM status, yeah. If the CRM status is a lead, or okay, if the guy already exists in the database, okay, I'm not getting this particular prospect as a new lead. I already have the same email ID. With the same email ID, I'll already have the record in the database. What I need to do for the existing leads, right? uh, Basically what happens, without any integrations, without any configuration and then the conditional completion action, in general, the field values get amended with the existing contact record. That is what happens. Okay, but if you do this, if it is a contact, then what you're going to do is I'm going to notify the salespeople. I'm going to uh, create a task. Okay, here I'm going to create a task. What I'm going to do is, here is your, okay, please reach out to the existing customer request. Okay, you can type in the subject, and you can assign this task to a CRM owner, which means a contact owner. Priority status you can set, right? And you can set the reminder as well. Then you can give your own commands here, right? Then you can give a next, then confirm and save. Your form will be ready. Yeah, this is all about the form. And the form handler is something a similar concept, uh, but form is used when you have to create the website from the beginning. And in some use cases, what happens, like the companies will have the website already, and they are hosting it in through WordPress or some other platform, HubSpot, and the part that comes in between. So where we need to integrate the forms, the existing forms with Pardot, then what we do is we create the form handlers instead of a form. In the form handlers, at the end, we are going to get the endpoint URL. This particular endpoint URL, given to the website development team, they are adding the same to the website, so that whenever the form submission happens, we are also getting some, the same sample of a lead, right? So that is the difference between the form and form handlers. And you will have, the reporting capabilities as well inside the part that you can see the campaign performance if you want to see the the list email performance. But since this is a demo, or I can't able to send the email out, so but in the live you can able to see what is the name of the email template, when it is sent, and uh, what is the number of sent, and bounce rate, delivery, open clicks, and everything. So this is the metrics you can have. And you can also have, you can also able to see the form statistics, right? So what is the total number of view and the submissions, and the submission rate and the error rate, right? That's similarly for the form analyst. So here under the account engagement reports, you can able to track all the statistics of the forms and the marketing assets. And if I move on to the account engagement setting, okay, I've talked more about the scores, right? More the score, more the engagement, like I told you. uh, if I'm going to the score, here you can able to see, for which action I'm going to score them, and how much I'm going to score them, right? For the form, right? For the form submission, I'm going to add 50 points to the prospects, right? Similarly, for the email open, 2 points. For the landing page success, 50 points, and opportunity created and last, and so on, right? You can able to see the the activity against the scores. This is the score that is a default scoring model, and whatever you apply in the completion action, which is on top of it. Let's say, for example, I'm getting a prospect now. In the form, I've given, adjust the score plus 50 when the submission happens, but right here I've already have plus 50. So what happens, the 50 will be added up, so the prospect will have the score of 100. Okay. And yeah, that's mostly it, right? And the domain management, here you have the domain management, where you will be creating your own domain, and by just adding the domain, um, Pardot session, like just for an example, right? Pardatsession.com, and I'm creating a domain now. Once created, you will be clicking on expected DNS entries, then you will get an SPF entry and validation key and the domain key. And this domain key is 1024 bit, it is not in 2048 bit. So if you want to have the stronger protection, stronger encryption against the bot, then You have to request the Salesforce support team and get it done, and they will create the the domain key for 2048 bits, and this is the email sending domain. Once it is verified, then you can able to send the email out from the you know from the Pardot instance. And then and yeah, this is mostly it. I'm switching my screen to uh, I'm switching my screen to the presentation now. Okay. Yeah, and here you can see, right, how does the Pardot sync. I've explained you, right. The first initially, it will check uh, whether we have an existing CRM ID. If we don't have, we will check the email ID. If email ID with the contact, if we don't have any existing email ID with the contact, I'm going to check it with the lead. Even the record doesn't exist with the lead, then I'm going to create the prospect in Pardot, right? If I'm having some existence, with the same email ID, whether it is a contact or a lead, I'm going to amend the values, whatever I'm going to get through the form submission, right? Then if the prospect assigned to an user, then I'm going to create the lead record. If it is not, I'm going to keep it in Pardot itself. So it's as simple as that. And moving on, what are the activities that trigger a sync from Salesforce to Pardot? So if you see, like if you update a lead or a contact, this is the sync from Salesforce to Pardot. Okay. If you update a lead or a contact, it will trigger a sync. If you make any field changes, like if you are updating a country field, if you are updating a lead status, lead source, whatever, right, then it is going to make uh, make a sync, right, trigger a sync. And at the end of the day, whatever the activity that changes the last modified timestamp, that will trigger a sync. Okay. And if you take the what are the triggers from Pardot perspective, in triggers from Pardot to Salesforce. Okay. And this is with respect to prospect activities, form submission, form handler submission, landing page submission, everything initiates the trigger. And with respect to the user actions, when you import a prospect and when you change, when you do the field changes of the prospect, it will initiate the trigger. And the system action, which is nothing but a completion action and automation rule that we have done. Yeah. And moreover, we also should know uh, which activities that doesn't trigger a sync. Receiving and opening an email and the page views and the formula field changes, and if you are creating a new custom fields, that doesn't make any the trigger from Pardot and Salesforce. And this is what I talked about. And from Pardot and Salesforce, and the lead and contact will have the bidirectional sync, and the contact opportunity and the campaign will have an the single directional sync. I can only able to read from Pardot, but I can't write it to a Salesforce. And yeah, that mostly it. If we have some questions, we'll take it up now.
Ganesh, thanks for the informative session. There is one question.
One question. Okay.
Can we create the leads here itself based on form submission of end user?
Yes, Nikhil, we can able to create it, right? When the form submission happens, when you assign the user, the owner to a prospect, it will automatically creates a lead. So for the lead qualification purpose, there is a separate concept called lead qualification, right? So in the marketing perspective, if you want to qualify a lead, there should be some threshold to be reached. With respect to the score, I may set a threshold as a 100, right? I'm not triggering a sync from Pardot to a Salesforce. I'm not pushing the marketing lead to a sales unless otherwise my threshold reaches. So it's all depends on the use case. It's all depends on the the company's requirement. So yes, possible. So that is what we are doing. When we assign the user to a prospect record, it will get synced. Yeah. Thank you, Nikhil. And any other questions? Any other doubts? Yeah. Can we send Pardot email template report to the external user? If if the user doesn't have the Pardot access, you can take a snap and send. You can't send it through Pardot. So if the person has an access to Pardot, you can send the report directly. They can come and the report will be visible for them. Yeah, if they are not present in Salesforce and Pardot, then you have to take a snap, or you can download it in Excel and you can send. That's the only option. Is Pardot an external system, or we should import it? No. Nikhil, like this, the Pardot is not an external system. This is part and parcel of our Salesforce. Okay. And when you buy a Pardot, it's a connected app to the Salesforce. So the Pardot is not a standalone application. It's a connected app. It works only with the Salesforce CRM. Okay, if you want to have correct. If you want to have the audience, if you want to have the prospect record, you can sync it with the Salesforce. Whatever the lead and contact you have in the database, that will automatically get synced to the marketing system. Okay, that is how it is. And and can you explain the flow of marketing? Okay, fine, I'll do that. Before that, Pavan, can we also create a landing pages in Pardot? Yes, Pavan, we can do that. There are two ways in which we can create the landing pages. So one is we can create the landing pages using HTML and CSS, a traditional way, and there is a lightning way wherein you can use the drag and drop builder. Just pull the columns and rows and the components, images and text, now by which you can able to create the landing pages. And if I take that right now, it will be a longer session, Pavan. So we'll take it up slowly on next sessions. Yeah. And yeah, thank you, Pavan. And Santosh, can you explain the flow of marketing? Okay, what marketing basically does, as a marketing operation guy, right? Marketing operations specialist, you will be responsible to handle um, uh, a CMS, like content management system. And then the website, you need to handle the CEOs and the keyword research tools and all of it. Then you may be responsible for the social media management, which is the LinkedIn campaign managers, LinkedIn, how to get a lead from the LinkedIn, how to post and all of that, and advertising and retargeting. Then then you may responsible for conducting an event and webinars, and at the back end for the event and webinar, you need to send a lot of email communications, correct? And we can't get the proper data from the customers, right? Hello. So we will be getting a few data points from them through the form submission. But if you want to do the data enrichment, we have to approach the data enrichment platforms such as Apollo, Zoom Info, and so on. So many tools are available, uh, right? So for all this, we will be responsible. And at the end, analytics, that's the most important part. So you will be responsible for all this. But when the form submission happens, when the threshold reaches, we are marking the lead as a marketing qualified lead. We are pushing the lead to the inside sales or the sales team. Okay. Up to the marketing qualified lead, we are the responsible guys. Okay. And at the end of the day, we have to track the analytics. At the end of the day, we need to get the ROI as well, return on investment. So how much you are spending for the campaign, how much you have got in return, right? So yes, you need to track until opportunity one, but you are responsible up to marketing qualified lead. This is also depends, right? This is not the same for every company, but yes. And what are the prerequisites to do the enhance? Okay, fine. Uh, you just need to be in the lightning version of Pardot. If you are in the lightning version of Pardot, then you are eligible for uh, going with the lightning builder. There is no such prerequisite, but the lightning builder is available in all the editions of a Pardot, so you don't need to worry. So just in you just need to be in the lightning. It's not available in classic. And what are the daily limitations for the emails? And there is no such limitations right now, Girish. We don't have any limitations. And how to create a new Pardot R not using Salesforce partner. But yeah, Bhakti, I will give you a link. I have a link with me. I'll give it to you. Yeah, you can create a demo org on your own. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Can we send emails with Pardot or only track through other tools? Yeah, we can send the emails, Pawan. Yes, we can send. Okay, you need a link, right? Just give me a moment. I'm just searching for it and I'll just give it to you. Yeah, I got the link. Okay, I've just typed the link and just go to this. Go to this link and submit the form, and you will get the reset password link. Then you are good with the Pardot. You will have a Pardot in your instance, and you can go ahead and configure and learn, right? And what are the advantages with Pardot? As we already having a marketing cloud in Salesforce, but some standard objects like campaign and lead. Nikhil, like both the products are for the different channels, right? So marketing cloud is for B2C, so where you will have so many touch points, and where you have even the sales cycle is too low. If I see some product in an Amazon today, I may buy it tomorrow. But in the B2B industry, if I see some product today, I may end up buying in the next budget cycle, which means the next year. So the sales cycle for the B2B and B2C differs, and the number of touch points for each opportunity one differs between both the industry. So there is no I like, it's all use cases. So why are you wanted to use marketing cloud as well as Pardot, right? You are already having a marketing cloud. Are you working with a B2B client or a B2C client? So it's all depends. How can we manage bounce rates from unverified emails? Okay, fine. So if you want to limit the bounce rate, the only way for you to handle the bounce rate is, uh, if you are if you are getting if you are building your database organically via the form submissions, via the campaigns, via the LinkedIn campaigns, ads, Google ads, and all of that, your database will be good enough for you to send an email, good enough to have a lower number of bounce rate. But if you are buying a data from data enrichment tool, then you need to worry. Then there are platform like Never Bounce, Reduce Bounce. There are platforms which will help to verify the email ID. They'll verify the email ID whether you will get it bounced or not. And later point in time, you can if you are getting the right lead, then you can import it. So that is how you can handle it. And along with SFMC and all other products of Salesforce. Bhakti, I'm not getting your point. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, fine. And any other questions?
There is no questions, Ganesh.
Okay. Okay, John.
Thank you for the great informative session. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the joining the call.